It is 4 o'clock on a Saturday again for another episode of In-Game Chat. Welcome to the show, Saturday, January 15th, 2022. Season 16, episode Deuce. I'm Scott.
I'm RJ.
I'm Wendy.
Yeah, man. You know, say it different. Episode the second. If you would like to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228, 334-272-9228. Check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on You can find us on Twitter at InGameChat, as well as Facebook. You can also email us, everyone at ingamechat.net. Streaming right now on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv, and you can find us there. Join us while we broadcast. You'll be able to watch us and interact with us in the chat room, which we would love for you to do, considering, and I put this in the chat room, but anybody else listening who is listening through Twitch, specifically through Twitch, if you're watching and listening through Twitch, we'd love for you to pop into the chat room and give us a critique of the audio. I'm using a different source this time, and I'm curious how it sounds. I was down here messing with it, and I was looking at something else for a completely different reason, and then I noticed some, places I could plug in, and I thought, well, let me check. Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. When I plugged my headphones into it, I was only getting one channel, but I have no idea because it's showing me both on the screen there, but who knows. So, anyway, and if it is one channel, but it sounds okay or something like that, I'll fix it when we do the editing later tonight, and then never touch it again if that's the case. But who cares? Anyway, welcome to the show. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you had a great week, and I hope you played a lot of games. I played some, and we're going to talk about what we played actually coming up. Oh yeah, don't forget Discord. We are on Discord as well. You can go to our website is just really the place to go to get all the information for this. Go to our website, and you can scroll all the way to the bottom. You'll find our Discord, and you can get in there and chat with us. You can actually be on the air and chat with us if you would like to. I'm putting this up here so I can do that and get that out of the way. Yeah. That is also for editing purposes, by the way. Anyway, welcome to the show. Hi, everybody.
What's up?
Hi.
How was your week, RJ?
Well, just a bunch of work, basically, and a little bit of gaming here and there. I finally did what I was going to say.
Well, your priorities are all mixed up then. Should be the other way around.
No, I doubt that.
A lot of gaming, a little bit of work here and there.
No.
I wish.
I wish, right? Yeah.
Right, yeah, I know.
But I did play what I was going to say last week about Hellblade, Cinema Sacrifice.
Did you?
I finally started
Oh,
playing.
man, let's talk about that, because I finished it.
Okay, you finished it? Okay,
Yes.
Okay,
yeah, you probably got where I picked up last night, and your one sit down with it.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, it was this morning till it was fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
I wanted to get a feel of the mechanics and whatnot, and to talk about the issue that you were talking about with not being told what the prompts were.
Right.
That's what we're used to. Well, I guess in this game, the prompts is basically the start button, because that'll tell you what.
Right. That's where I had to go.
Yeah, that's all you're going to get from the game.
But you had to do that. I mean, they throw you in combat, and then you had to think, well, because normally when games do this, and so what the strange part about this is that this game pulled something that Guardians of the Galaxy pulled, where I can't remember if last week I praised them for it, but it was one of those things that you're not instinctual to do. It's one of those things where, as a gamer, you don't think to do these things.
Yeah.
You have set conditions. Like, ingrained to me in a side scroller is as soon as it starts, I go left. Mm-hmm. I don't ever go right first. I always go left just to see, is there anything on this side?
Yeah.
You know, Sonic, Mario, all that stuff. It's always, let's go back and see what's this way just in case.
There might be something there that you missed. Yeah.
So now that's I don't know. That would be like maybe a tier 2. If you start at 1 at the basics and then move up, tier 2 would be basically where that is. The things that I'm talking about that both Guardians pulls off and Hellblade pulls off is like a basic tier 1 thing that is ingrained to you from the beginning of playing video games. Mm-hmm. Just, that's what it is. I don't want to tell you what it is, because I don't want to spoil anything, although Hellblade is, I think, long past the realm of spoiler. But then again, I just got around to playing it. So
same here.
The other thing is that I looked up the achievements? Mm-hmm. I was looking at achievements on Xbox, and it would give you the percentage of people who have earned these achievements.
Yeah.
And the further I got into the game, the lower it got. And this was not a situation of, well, you found this many things, or you found blah, 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 or you did this, or anything like that. This was, you completed Chapter 3, you completed Chapter 4. You know, it's one of those things. And the further I got in the game, the less and less and less, which is normal for a game, but not one that has been out since 2015?
Yeah.
I can't remember what the year was on that. But point being is that I thought, well, not as many people have either completed this or played through all of this or whatever the case may be. That's just not the case. So I don't necessarily, and plus Guardians is still out there, so I don't really want to give anything away. You wouldn't know where this would come in Guardians most likely. But Hellblade pulls it off as well. I wish I could give you, because I do want to talk. I don't know. I'm debating.
Well, you say you finished it. I just started it, really.
Yeah.
But the thing that got me at the beginning of the thing was basically the atmosphere of the game, because, you know, hearing voices.
Did you use headphones?
Yeah.
You did?
Nice.
Sorry about that.
See, I did too when I played. I used the headphones. He did not.
Mm-hmm.
I can turn your mic off if you need to get a cough out of there. Go ahead.
Sorry, thank you. But yeah, the atmosphere of the game was really all the voices that I was hearing all the way to the through the intro of the game. Mm-hmm. A real bunch of negative Nancy's these voices are, because every time I was further I went, it was like, why is she not looking?
Yeah,
go back.
There's a lot of that. Yeah.
You're not gonna. Yeah, so this is like, it got to the point where it got really annoying. Mm-hmm. It was like, dang, I wish I could turn this stuff off. But then I thought about the thing that this game is focused around people's dealings with mental issues and whatnot. So yeah, some people can't turn this off in their head. So yeah, so I was thinking about that as well. But then there was some times when it was like beneficial. Yes, that's the way to go. You know, go this way. Go down, drop down, do little things like that. Mm-hmm. Or best in battle, behind you. Mm-hmm. That was one thing that hit me like that. So it conditioned me to think, every time I hear behind you, you know, double tap X to evade, roll out the way, do something, just don't stand where you're going when you hear that. So I got to my first battle, and I'm thinking... First
combat section or first like boss?
Combat.
Okay.
First section of combat.
So that area there right before that big door.
Yeah, the big door. Before the doors.
Where they introduced the rot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, yeah, that must have been scripted. Had to happen. Because, you know, I got to the first few enemies fine, no problem. Excuse me. But when I started not getting hits, mm-hmm. like ghosts, like constructed of ash, and my sword wasn't hitting, mm-hmm. basically. So I'm thinking, okay, this is a scripted event. And then I saw the death animation and her Senua scratching her hand, and then mm-hmm. the big bold letters saying what's going to happen if the rot reaches her head.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, stakes are higher here. You're going to lose all your progress. So I really, really don't want that to happen. So I was doing everything I could to avoid that situation. So I was more careful than normal in games like this. Dark Souls, things like that, you expect you're going to get killed hundreds of times. You know it's coming, so it's not really an issue for you.
But it's not permadeath, and it's not a permanent situation in Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's not.
You lose some stuff, but you can continue on all through the whole thing.
There's no real consequences by even the loss of souls. At some point, if you get big enough, you're not going to well, I just lost 600,000 souls. I'm no worried. I'm still strong enough to take.
Not for nothing.
The game.
I don't know, and I didn't put this to the test. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily know that any permadeath exists in Hellblade. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I never put it to the test.
Mm-hmm. But they sure try to infer that at the very beginning. They really do.
They
sell
do,
it.
And they get you later on in the game to make you even more worried about it. Mm-hmm. I won't say anything more than that.
Yeah,
but that's why it leads me to believe there may not be. There probably is, but it may take a whole lot of effort for you to have permadeath. Mm-hmm. In other words, they may really make it difficult for you to do that. It may be in there. Mm-hmm. I never tested it, though.
Yeah.
And there's some other things that happen in the game that make me, especially later in the game, that make me even doubt the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But the whole thing about the permadeath to it. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But the second aspect of the game that stood out for me was the runes, having to check out the runes in the area.
Loved those. I found a YouTube page that has nothing but the entire Druth Stories, I think is the character's name. So just reads you the
tell you about his experiences through
just about that, and it also gets you the it's what am I trying to think of? It's not Norwegian. It's Viking lore. It's Norse. That's what I was thinking of. Norse. I was like, not Norwegian. What is it? Norse mythology. Mm-hmm. It is just a massive, here you go. We're going to tell you some Norse mythology. And they pick a few stories here and there. They pick here and there. They pick some that are less known, especially since you're going up against some of these gods. Some of the gods that you go up against, they're going to give you some history on who they are. And then they pick other people, who were not really. Actually, no. I think they're all somehow tied to what you're doing, whether it be through a weapon you're carrying or have to carry or something like that. I think there is somewhat of a connection there. But loved those and only missed 4. I think I missed 4, maybe 5, 4 or 5.
Stories or whatnot?
4 or 5 lore stones is what they're called.
Yeah, the lore stones. So basically those circles that you got to focus on.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. So yeah, there seems to be a counter on the
there is
on the outside.
Well, that's what I told you. I think I'm halfway through the game the other day because I had filled up half of those.
Yeah. Okay.
And I thought, I must be halfway through. You never know, but still, it was just one of those things. So, that does that helps you with your progress to know where you are in the game, and also fills in some back. I love those. I would not move from those lore stones because not at the same time wanting to hear what Druth was telling me, I also didn't want to pass up hearing the voices. I wanted to hear what the voices were going to say, specifically that one singular voice, which I'm not sure exactly who they said that is, but it is somewhat of a narrator. It's a female voice that you hear that stands out from all the other voices. Sounds like the exact same voice, but when she is speaking to you and telling you, it's almost in a third-person sense of Senua's thoughts. That was also something I didn't want to miss out on. So I was very certain not to move forward because I was worried that it might trigger it, and you would either have overlapping dialogue or one dialogue being more dominant than the other and missing out on one. So I just, that's all I wanted. I just wanted to get those. So but yeah, I love those.
Yeah. Looking at runes, like I said, rune stones, like you were talking about earlier, but then having to match up the image of the rune in the environment.
There's that too.
There's that as well. So I knew that aspect going in, but I didn't understand how intricate it could be. It was like the first rune I had to look at before I got to that door turned out to be a shadow on the wall.
How far did you? How far are you right now in your playthrough? Just so that I don't say anything. Where are you?
Very early in the game. I've gotten to the door which leads to Surt and the illusion god. I got to the big door that says you have to face Surt and the
two doors behind you that you have to go
so
through?
I went through Surt's first.
Did you get to him yet?
No, I haven't got to him yet.
Okay.
The farthest I got is I think the last rune I picked up in the environment was the one that looked like the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
That looked like that.
Is that for a lore stone or for a door to open?
For a door to open.
Okay,
the
fine.
logo that looks like the Yankees logo.
Yeah.
Well, I know it looks like N and Y, but if you put them overlap, it looks like New York Yankees. So I got it that way.
Whatever you need, man. That's fine.
Yeah, the Yankees rune. I think it's called that from now on. But so like I said, I was saying the first rune I looked at, it was like looking at the shadow on the wall that just happened to be that way. So I looked at that one. And then the first part of the Yankees rune, I found the Y version of that. You're just like looking at a limb in front of this dude that was crucified on this rack or whatever, and it just happened to line up, and there it was. So, and then the other one was two posts in the ground. One just happened to have a log attached to it, and then I look at it at the right angle. Oh, there's the rune, and bam, there it is. So it makes me think: are these the only ones in the stage that would do that, or could I like look at something else?
They're the only ones.
They're literally the only ones. Okay, so because it
the
could be anything.
The reason, the reason
that
that I say that is because when you get near them, the runes start popping up around in your vision.
Yeah, I saw the little red animals. Yeah,
that just lets you know you're close to what they want you to focus on. So it is said it's not something that you could go to any other part of the area and make that show up that way. They specifically want you to look at those. So yeah, by the way, the area that you're in, pay attention to draw a map if you need to, because it was hard for me. Once you defeat Cert, you've got to make your way back. I mean, it does not put you back there. It does not give you an easier way to get back to the main room so you can go through the next door. You have to go back the way you came, essentially. And I got so lost in that. We spent 30 minutes, I think, 30 or more minutes just trying to figure out how to get out of there. And I eventually did, but yeah, so again, not having waypoints, which for the most part, this game doesn't need. I will say, after you get done with that room and go through the big door, after you get done with the two bosses there, the two gods you got to defeat, and go through that door, I would say that it is, well, it's already linear, but it's very linear once you get through that door. You know what I'm saying? In any of the other stuff, there is really only one way for you to go, but when you come back, you can get very lost.
Okay.
There's nothing like that after those two sections. In fact, I didn't get lost in the other room either, as much as I did in Cert's area. I was able to make that back no problem. But I will say that it's very linear, even though every instinct in my body was telling me to search for secret areas or other out of the way places because I was looking for lore stones, but they're not that difficult. If they don't show you where they're at while you're trying to get to them, to say, okay, well, there's one there, I've got to figure out a way to get there, then you're just going to stumble upon it as you make your way around.
Yeah, you get there eventually.
You will. There are some that you need to seek out, but they don't necessarily hide those. They don't put them in areas that you can't see from some other place to think, I can't get there from here, but there's some way that I need to find out how to get over there to that thing.
Yeah.
So, extremely linear game. Also, I would say, I don't want to say short, but we were about 7.5 hours on a game like this. And
straight through. Okay.
Yeah, there's really, of course, I was playing on easy because I was just not, the combat was bothering me early on.
Well, the combat wasn't really bothering me that much. It was just looking out for what was behind you, really, more than anything else, and not readily knowing what each button does. Having to hit that start button in between battles every now and then, having to see what's what, and
it'll become instinctual. I mean, you'll figure it out from there.
Yeah, not being able to practice really.
Nothing. I mean, yeah.
Like for instance, melee with Senna's kick. Does that break a guard or whatever? I don't know. I just have to.
I don't know about a guard. You will eventually run into guys who have shields.
It's right with the kick breaks then.
That is what. No, that's exactly what it is. I think it can also break a. What did you say? Not a charge, but like
break a guard.
Kind of like when they're going for a strong attack and they have to do whatever. You do a kick. Because I can do a sword swing as well. If I can pull off a sword swing, and I especially do it when I slow down time and everything. But you can do a kick, and that'll break the animation for you to get in another swipe in if you can. And the guys with the shields, that gives you an opening. You can sit there and slash them all day with your sword if they have a shield, and they'll just block, and get you fire back at you after a swing. If you kick them, it moves the shield out of the way, and then you can do a sword. So that's. And also, you can do a run and kick as well. If you time it right enough, you can do a run and
run melee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Either with your sword or with a kick. You can do either or with that I noticed later on in the game. I had an issue later on in the game when they gave me so many enemies in not the biggest of spaces to play, but then again, as I think back on the game, most of the spaces they gave you to play in weren't that big to begin with, but they put me on a bridge once, and there were some enemies there, and I didn't like that, especially since they came from behind and in front of you. The problem that I was running into, and again, I know they're trying to make this immersive with there's no HUD or anything else. I would just have loved a better way to know who I had selected as a target. Because you can use the right thumbstick
Look at the stick
to switch who you focus on. And when you have 4 people in front of you on a bridge that puts them very close together, I have no idea, because the camera does not move because they're all there. Yeah. So I don't know which guy I'm focused on. Is it the guy who is in front of everyone else? Is it the one behind? Is the one just a little bit over?
Yeah, there's no icon to let you know who you're locked onto.
Sometimes I would slow down time and run towards the guy that I'm going to try to attack, and it wasn't that guy. She was still going for the one beyond the one I was trying to hit, because that's who she was focused on. Yeah. It really annoyed me. I hope in 2, and I think maybe it will, I don't know, we've only seen one piece of gameplay from that. So I hope they refine the combat a little bit. I don't necessarily know that it needs too much to be refined, but I would like something a little bit better.
I would say let us know who we're locked onto. That's one thing.
Outline them, man. I don't know. Something. Give me an idea.
Or
it's okay. By the way, it works when they're in like mostly a circular area and they're sort of spread out and not huddled together. There comes a time in the game, though, where you can still be in that area, and they've put so many people upon you that as you're trying to run around and get away, they all tend to come into a group together.
Yeah,
and you have no like area of effect.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. From what I've gathered from the first combat I've been through, they don't seem to want to press the issue. They just slowly lumber their way towards you, and if it involves them clumping together, they'll do that too, and that makes it difficult to lock on or whatever.
No, most of the enemies you're going to encounter in the game, your regular rank and file type enemy type stuff, there's not a fast one among them. There really isn't. I think there's one guy who has a charge attack that is easily dodgeable, and there's another guy who has a massive weapon and who charges at you as well, but also easily dodgeable. You just need to get away from the range of his weapon that he has.
Keep your distance, basically. That's basically what the whole premise of what these battles really are for me. Keep your distance. Keep your distance and watch your back. Yeah. And if someone's behind you, the voices in your head will let you know.
Sometimes, I mean, on the once I got it down on some of the one-on-one combat, I was okay with. It just depended on where they put them. Like, for me to have enough room to maneuver, and how many of them were going to be there, and the different types and stuff. Because on that bridge, man, that was tough. Because there is no way for you to. You're not sidestepping the guy. I mean, you are, but there's 3 other guys who are right there with you who are ready to go at you. That was something I was thinking about at home today when I was thinking about how they could revamp the combat a little bit. Look, I don't know what they want to make her, but I know in 2, at least from the trailers we've seen, she's apparently leading these people and has, again, we don't know where in the story. Is she possessed? Does she have this? I don't know. I have no idea. It ain't the girl that I played in this one. It's a girl who has come through something.
She's been through some stuff.
Out on the other end and has gone through some sort of change to because The one in that first teaser trailer where she starts chanting the Viking stuff or whatever that is.
She's not meek anymore.
No, it is much different than what I finished with in the game as well. Mm-hmm. So maybe there's a story behind that. Regardless, what it made me miss was something of not necessarily full-on Batman combat, but a way that would allow me to fight against a group rather than a one-on-one where you need to be focused on this guy. No. What I would like to be is if I have a group, Assassin's Creed 3 or 2 maybe, which I hate to reference that because I remember that used to start feeling like, oh, press X to beat them all because all you had to do was press one button. Mm-hmm. This animation would set in where it was a great little combat animation where, you know, he would attack this guy all the while attacking the guy behind him over here, and they were all kill moves, you know. Mm-hmm. They were finisher moves, which I'm not saying they got to put that in there, but I would love a way that I can control the combat in a group if that's what they're aiming for, instead of this. Make sure you're one-on-one. Your sword's going to hit this guy. That's it.
Well,
I would like something like that.
Something else that got me about the combat I would like to have had.
Would like some range, too.
Range?
Yeah, like, you know, an arrow or a knife that I can throw or some kind of incendiary thing. An area of effect, range type thing. I don't know, something. Yeah. I know in the gameplay that we saw from the Video Game Awards, she was throwing spears on fire. So that would involve range.
Well, if the enemies are like what you say throughout this whole game, I think that sword's enough.
It is, but when I'm going back to my bridge combat later on in the game when they were grouped up in a huddle, and I just said, man, it'd be great if I had a grenade right now. Something that I could, you know, throw at them or have a bow with you know, a fire arrow or something. I don't know. Yeah. Something to take them all out rather than try and get them one by one.
Well, it was something I was looking for wish I had, basically. Look behind you. Mm-hmm. You know, something that lets you look immediately behind you, 180 behind you.
God,
I would love to have seen that because I don't want to rely just on the voices.
No, well, not just that, but to focus on the guy behind you. Mm-hmm. You would have had, again, depending on how many people you're facing, you've got to flip your stick, doom, 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 and then eventually make it to the guy that's behind you to get over to him. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, one of the
I was
others.
Using the camera. Like I said, when I heard behind you, double tap X to roll or shift, and then swing the camera manually behind me. And if there's anyone behind me, okay, that's the target. That's what I go after. But in that bridge thing, I'm thinking space management. Prioritize, first of all, anybody behind you most likely is going to be the one closest to you. Mm-hmm. So prioritize that above anything else, and pick them off as they come. Like I said, the closest one to you is the one that gets it first.
Yeah,
behind or front.
Nitpicking a little bit, I would have loved to have known when I was facing the final combatant, I suppose, of a group, you know, instead of killing one and then it's like, okay, 2 more guys have spawned now. You kill those and it's like, okay, 2 more guys have spawned, or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. It just keeps going. You never really have any kind of indication of like, oh, I'm at the last guy. There are some in the early fights because you do get a new type of fighter that'll pop up and you're like, this must be, you know, this must be the last of these. You kill him and it's pretty much over with. But then later on, he pops up as a regular now as you're fighting, and can pop up multiple times as you're in combat. So
typical.
Would have been nice.
As you go further on, the enemies get tougher. So
that is a massive nitpick. There is no reason for them to put that in there other than my own, like, you know, I would like to have that.
That's always been. But I don't think it's always been done like that.
I don't know. I know what they're going for here, though. They're going for this because of what they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. There is no outside interference. They're trying to immerse you in this, right down to the headphones. Mm-hmm. They want you to wear headphones while you're playing this game so you can get the sense of what she is experiencing and have some sort of idea from that. And at the same time, they also don't tell you any of this stuff. I don't say that it's bad design because it's what they want. And I've played games. I mean, one of the first things I ever played was Myst, and that's one of the first things I ever fell in love with Myst. There is nothing to tell you what to do. There's also no combat for you to die in, but they don't tell you a thing. they plop you on Mist Island, and you are left to figure it out for yourself. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that. I don't need hand-holding. I just would have enjoyed... I say would have enjoyed... I would have enjoyed this better if there was something at least to introduce the combat to you to say, this is it. It wouldn't need much because you don't have a lot of stuff to deal with as far as combat.
Yeah, it's not a lot of options.
It's a quick strike, strong strike, evade, and kick.
Melee, yeah.
And a block. There's a block as well.
Not effective, really. I didn't find it very effective. I mean, anytime I blocked anything, she was thrown off kilter. Maybe I'm blocking the wrong thing. Maybe all the enemies do is like heavy attacks. I don't know, but
no, they don't. There's some there's some because if you time the block right, and you may have in some of your things where it slows down a little bit.
No, I mean the only time I blocked something, she got staggered. So at that point, it was basically evade, which was a lot more effective. So evading, for me at least, where I'm at in the game, was a lot more effective than blocking.
Okay.
So I haven't faced an enemy yet that would change that. I mean, between evading and the kicks and the quick strikes that pretty much do what I needed to.
Yeah.
And with an AI that doesn't seem to rush you, I could take my time with any enemy that was in the area.
Well, if you feel like it, if you feel like testing it out,
yeah,
then next time you're in combat, see if you can time your block a little bit better, and you'll know when you do it because the screen gets bright a little bit, things slow down, and you have. You can move regular speed. He's the enemy is the one that's staggered.
Okay.
And then you can take a swipe, and do what you need to do. So, see if you can. You'll know when you pull it off, but see if you can.
Yeah.
So, anything else about the game?
Held my interest enough to me to want to finish it.
Yeah.
So that's it. So I'll be working on that throughout the week.
Okay.
But yeah, I just wanted to get it for what I want to do. I want to play it a little bit this morning and get it fresh in my mind for talking about it today.
No, that's good. That's good.
But I mean,
we wondered
finding all those things in the background, really being observant, because there was things that weren't rune stones that was like focus on this and like, oh, didn't even notice that there. Mm-hmm. There's a little story behind that, like the face in the waterfall.
The face, yeah. I know. I only I probably missed so many faces.
Yeah,
I think I only found one or two.
But the voices do tell you in the game, why is she not looking around?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that was your problem. It just didn't tell you what the buttons were.
I thought it was an enemy at first, I think, and I was like, well, that's why I'm not looking around. I don't want to spawn. I don't want to spawn any combat. I'm ready to move on. Yeah. I don't like the combat in the game. I'm ready to keep going.
At least it doesn't surprise you. I mean, you know when the combat's coming because when she pulls that sword, get ready. There's nope. All right, here we go.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's when I knew it was happening, was when the sword is pulled. And there's a whole section in the game where you don't even have a weapon, and so and you kind of rest a little bit easier because it's like, well, I'm not going to run into any combat here. You didn't actually know that as you're playing.
Yeah.
But I kind of figured that was the case, and yeah, that was.
Yeah.
So anyway, I would love to talk about, we need to take a break here, but as far as the game itself, we finished it last night, satisfied with especially knowing that the sequel is coming probably later this year or early next year. That was fine. Finishing it, thinking, okay, yeah, good setup, good start. This is good. I really liked it. I liked the story. The story is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Story was great. Combat had something to deal with. I was like, not too big on the combat. The environments were great. I mean, the game was beautiful, just completely gorgeous. Voice acting was tremendous. All of it. The music was good. The character animations, all that stuff was, that's it. My only problem, combat.
Combat, yeah.
And even then, I'm not really hammering it.
It's not a deal breaker, but it's just little tweaks here and there to improve it, and it'll be a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, the only time there's a second room I got to where I think I got lost, but it was just because I didn't see a door. Mm-hmm. And that's more on me than it is on them. I really blame them on the part of, was it Suter? Surt. I can't remember his name. Like the mint. Oh man, I haven't seen Surts in a long time. Anyway, Surt. His area is the only area I had a problem with because I got lost.
Yeah.
And there was nothing to tell me which way to go. So, anyway, really, really liked it. There is the song at the end credits and everything. You don't have to watch them. The credits are not very long for a game like this. They're not very long at all. And there's a nice little featurette that's there. I think you can watch it from the get-go.
Yeah, but they warn you not to.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it until the end. Don't do it until the end.
As soon as you hit the button, it says spoilers ahead. When it says that,
exactly.
Get out of there.
So
get out of there.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll find out. Did you play anything, Wendy?
I played Animal Crossing, and I, watched you.
Okay.
So there's that.
There is that. And I think all I played was Destiny and Hellblade, so we got that out of the way now, too. Anything else that you played?
GTA and Virtual Fighter. New stuff in Grand Theft Auto Online, but what else is old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, when we come back, we'll hit up the news as well. We have music here from Eternia Noctis. I think that just came out a couple of weeks back, and this is called 1,000 Eyes. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. Well... And welcome back to In-Game Chat. This is music from a game called Witchwood. Track on this one is called Witch House. Witch, by the way, is spelled W-Y-T-C-H. Witchwood. So, whatever that means. Welcome back to the show. Some of the things that we didn't get to from last weekend, but let me first scroll through and make sure there isn't anything we want to hit up that was a big deal this week. And I'm just looking here. Yeah, that's probably going to be a big thing later on. The Take-Two buying Zynga for $12.7 billion.
With a B.
Yeah. That will probably be a thing later on down the line, I suppose. Nothing we're going to really worry about at the moment, though. Chris? All right, let's talk to Chris. Hey, Chris.
What's going on, y'all?
Not much. What's going on with you?
Enjoying the Dishonored series again. I beat the first one. I'm got into the second stage of the second one right now, and been enjoying playing that series.
Yep. Been there, played the first one, and attempted playing the second one. I never finished it, but yeah. You there? There
you go non-lethal.
Hang on. We're losing you on the phone. Say again?
Did you go non-lethal?
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember it's been a while, and I don't remember. I think I tried to, but at some point I probably didn't. And then, I probably started out that way. That's usually how these things work. I start out going one method, and by halfway through the game, I'm like, I don't care anymore. To the point where I don't even hide the bodies anymore. Just leave them there. It's like, I don't care. I think Hitman is one of those. Hitman is nice though because they give you a kind of an enclosed level type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not a broad area for you. I mean, it is, but you know, your target and everything else, it's all encased. And so it feels like all I have to do is this one thing and I'm done. Whereas, you know, Dishonored, you're playing through a story, going through a city, going into houses and all this other stuff. And so, yeah, I might do it more with like a Hitman type series than I would with what I did in Dishonored. Maybe even with a Splinter Cell type series as well. I'm not sure, but usually I start these things with a play strategy in mind that I have probably given up on halfway through the game, or even less than halfway through the game, where it's just like, nah, don't care anymore. Just going to keep going.
Yeah, but I went through the first one completely non-lethal.
Yeah.
And I'm doing this. I've been enjoying hiding the bodies and trying to time everything and use the different powers to sneak around and get around everybody without them noticing you at all.
Well, I remember it very well. What are you playing on, PC or?
On PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 5, okay. Yep. Anything else you played?
Nope. Those series right now, that's the only ones I've been playing right now.
Just doing the Dishonored stuff. Did you pick up any more? Did you do anything more with your quest?
No, I haven't done anything with it.
I forgot to, I mentioned the other week that I was like, oh, you should listen because we're going to talk about some games. And I totally didn't talk about those games. I totally forgot to talk about those games. I picked up the one that got me the I think every game that I buy on Quest and then start playing it, all of them have a wow factor because of the immersion.
Right.
Most of them look like if you were to put that in a regular type of a game setting that you don't need a VR thing for, you'd show that to somebody and say, well, that looks like crap. You're used to like really detailed environments and these things, you know, and that sort of thing. You're not getting that with the Quest. You don't need it with the Quest. The immersion can do that for you. Although I will say things like The Room, Saints and Sinners, stuff like that, some of these higher concept type things look really, really good. And not even higher concept. It can be very minimal, but it looks amazing. Case in point going to be this game that I picked up called, I think it's Real VR Fishing? Real Fishing? It's fishing.
One of the fishing games.
It's just fishing.
How's real spelt?
It's R-E-A-L. It's R-E-A-L, I think, and I could be wrong.
I want to say Sega did something that real R-E-E-L fishing on something like that years back.
Real VR Fishing is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. That was really, really cool. That was really, really cool to just to experience. I've only done the tutorial in it that tells you, you know, what you're doing. I mean, obviously you know how to fish, but when you have your reel and it has what do they call it? Bob lures, I guess, you know, the ones where, you know, you just wait for the bob to go underwater and you know you got a bite or something like that. It's very weird because it's like, okay, you need to let slack out, let the bob hit the water, you know, and you do that, and just what you're seeing and what you're feeling through the feedback thing, it feels so real.
Just a vibration.
You feel that, yeah. You feel it going into the water. You feel the bob going into the water from holding it right there at the bank of wherever you're at. And by the way, the second part of that is the environments in this are amazing. I feel like they've taken actual photographs and put them in there. And I think they have. They've taken actual photographs, put them in there, and that's your setting. I think the water is the animation part, but everything else just looks real and was amazing. So if that real VR fishing, it's currently $20. But if that thing goes on sale again, that is definitely. I've caught one single fish, a catfish, in the tutorial. But that's all I needed to tell you this thing's amazing. It really, really is cool. It's really cool. In fact, while you're fishing, you can open up stuff in VR. You can open up a browser, and you can either connect it to a playlist, a podcast. You can actually go to YouTube and have videos playing while you're sitting there and fishing. Yeah.
Like most folks do anyway.
Yeah,
have
just
their little,
something.
have their little audio, media player in their ear while they sit out there trying to catch fish.
I know, yeah. No, it's really, really cool. Real VR Fishing is the name of it. They have some DLC for it that gives you West Coast, the western states and places to fish in over there. So, yeah, that was really, really cool.
Yeah, the other VR game I played was that roller coaster game where it had different modes where you could do it with, trying to remember what the different ones were, but one of them where you had different targets and you could shoot the target.
You could shoot from it, yeah.
That one was fun. I did the Rights Apart thing one. That was really good.
Yeah, I haven't really, I haven't played much of it. I know RJ caught me playing it here last weekend. I brought it here to the station. I'd carved out a nice little play area. Didn't do anything, though, other than go into the main section and see how much more room I had to move with compared to the house. And check out a new environment for the hub area for the game. Because when you buy Mist through the Quest, it gives you a play space type thing to a little environment for the main hub of the not the game, but the Quest itself, where you launch games from. So I'd messed around with that. I actually bought a lot over the New Year's sale, but I haven't really taken the time to do anything. I keep focusing on every time I think about playing it, I'm like, well, I can get a little bit further in Guardians or get a little bit further in Hellblade. And now that I've finished, those two, maybe I will jump into some VR again. Of course, we finished up Hellblade, and Wendy said, "Well, what's the next one we're going to play?" I said, well, I started Mass Effect, so that's a possibility. The other titles that I kind of want to do another playthrough for with her is the Uncharted series. Because there's 4 of those, and then there's a movie in February. So, based on them. Loosely, apparently. So
loosely.
What's on your agenda for next for you, Chris?
I don't know. Probably the new Horizon game that comes out in February.
Right. We were talking about that. In fact, I have an article here that says, if you think February's busy, wait till you see what's coming out in March, because there is a lot of games releasing in March.
I think I got the new Final Fantasy 1 remake thing that they're
right.
Yet.
Yep.
And I got the other one that was made by Square Enix. Trying to remember the name of it.
Not a Final Fantasy type game, or what?
It wasn't a Final Fantasy. I think it was. I forgot, but it's one where the main role is a female, and she has that amulet that where she can cast magic and everything that talks to her or something. But I think it's done by the same company that does the Final Fantasy series.
Okay.
Forspoken?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that one. Yeah. That one's got some, I think it's consulting credits with Amy Hennig.
Magical parkour, basically, is what they keep talking about in that thing.
I thought she did the story, but apparently looking further into it, I don't think, she may have had a hand here or there with the story, but I think she did more consulting on the story than she did actually writing the story. So that one I'm interested just because of her involvement. So, yeah. That would be it. February for me, you've got Horizon, and Destiny 2, of course. Their big Witch Queen expansion happens on the 22nd, and there's a couple of other February games that I thought were coming out.
What I got so far is Elden Ring.
Elden Ring was the other one.
Elden Ring is for me. Elden Ring, King of Fighters 15. Mm-hmm. And I think they've announced that they're going to release the Omega Edition, the limited edition in the U.S. now. It used to be Europe exclusive. Now it's going to be released in America as well. So I'll be picking up on that. I can't think of any other titles for February other than those two.
Yeah, I feel like I'm easily overlooking like some major releases.
I mean, understandable. I mean, so many titles come out, you can't even keep track much really anymore. So.
All right, well, Chris, you have a good one, buddy, and we'll talk to you next week, okay?
All right, y'all do the same. Y'all have a good weekend.
All right,
Thanks,
man.
now. Y'all
Bye.
take care now.
Bye-bye. Yep, we are right here at the top of the hour. We're going to take our break. When we come back, we will jump into the news there. We'll also try and get more of a handle on what is actually releasing coming up in February. Here is music, which, it's ambient music because it's the only kind that I could find. But I tried to find music from that tech demo for The Matrix. Okay. The one they released just before the film came out, The Matrix Awakens, I think. Mm-hmm. And it gave you this. I feel like we talked about this. Didn't we? Did we ever talk about this?
I don't know. I have to check the archives.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Because it was pretty amazing. To go, I mean,
so amazing, I can't remember it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, there were parts there where I was like, is that real Keanu? Is that fake Keanu? And then there were easily times when I was like, that is very fake Keanu right there.
Oh, I remember.
It's like, that's really, really fake Keanu. But then, like, they put you into the action sequences and all this other stuff. They're just showing off Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah.
And so that's done. And then they put you in the character and can move around the city on your own, drive a car on your own. Then you could detach the camera and move that around as you wish on your own throughout the entire city. It's amazing. Anyway, there's music for that, and this is that music from Matrix Awakens. We will be right back after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music here from a game called Ever Forward. This is the main theme. Don't know anything about it, but I do enjoy the music. Some news that we didn't get to. I say news, but there were some articles that we didn't get to last week because I rambled on and on and on.
Not you.
Of course. Why? No, not me. Never. Let's see. Which one is this one? The biggest gaming disappointments of 2021. Battlefield 2042 had a horrible launch, apparently. Wouldn't know it, don't play it. And I actually didn't hear about any kind of problems with their launch, but apparently, let's see, it suffered through a bad launch, losing a lot of players in the process, and continues to struggle to find its place while competing with online shooters like Fortnite and Halo Infinite now. The GTA trilogy, the buggy disaster that was when it launched last year. Mm-hmm. They say this is a disappointment, but
it could have been avoided.
Well, that is, yeah. The next one that they mentioned was the Switch. The big reveal that we're getting the OLED Switch and not some sort of 4K upgrade or Switch Pro type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can go back and find episodes where I was like, oh, there was why did you even bother? Because there's no point. And then, of course, I ended up getting an OLED Switch. But point being is that, yes, that should be the next iteration of what they're doing with the Switch. I think that should be the next step with it, and probably will be. I wasn't too disappointed though that it wasn't a 4K Switch, because I thought, well, I don't play my Switch enough as it is, and even with the OLED upgrade or whatever, I was like, yeah, it's fine. You can. I know you're getting there. You have to be. I think. Maybe not. I don't know. What else was part of that? Let's see. Take-Two shut down some GTA fan projects. Okay. They say Chris Pratt cast as Mario is a gaming disappointment of 2021. How do you know that, Kotaku? You don't know that because you haven't seen the performance or heard the performance or whatever. I get it. I know. I'm not necessarily defending this. I'm just saying, there's always things worth giving a chance before you pass judgment.
What do they base that on?
Let's see. I'll just read it to you. It's just a paragraph. Yeah. Nobody should make a movie adaptation of Super Mario Brothers. But even if you're forced to, why would you ever decide to cast Chris Pratt as Mario? Let's ignore the dude's history for a moment and just focus on the fact that Mario already has a super famous and talented voice actor, Charles Martinet, who probably would have been great in a film. Instead, Chris Pratt is voicing the iconic plumber for reasons which I don't fully understand or care about. At least Garfield is safe, right? Oh. Because I think he got hired to do Garfield or something too. I understand. I know the feeling. It's like that doesn't seem like a fit, but I have never.
Who would fit?
Who would fit as a voice?
Because I don't hear any suggestions in that article about who would be a better fit.
Oh, he said Charles Martinet.
That's a voice actor, right?
It is, yeah.
Does he look like Mario?
Well, no. This is not a live action film. This is an animated film.
How much? Okay, how much does it cost then? Probably price or cost or whatever.
I don't know. It's the same guys who did the Minion films.
Okay.
It's Illumination, and they're doing a computer animated Mario film.
Charles Martinet. Okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what they look like. Or
no star. Okay, this voice. Okay. My mistake. Thought it was a live action or something.
No. The whole point they hired Chris Pratt is so that they could have a name on the poster.
Star power.
Yeah.
Exactly. Martinet doesn't have the star power.
So that when they do the trailer, they can show that as people in the booth reading the thing with their headphones on, laughing it up or whatever, right. And it's like, I know that guy from this movie, or I know that girl from that movie. That's all they're doing. You put Charles Martinet in there, and people are like,
who's Charles Martinet?
Who's this old dude? Why is this old guy doing this Mario voice?
Yeah, I would say, people say, who is Charles Martinet? And I don't know what his contract would be, because maybe it's a contract dispute or something. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
No clue. Thar66 is wondering, is it not a live action thing?
I thought it was.
Well, I could be wrong on this. It says Chris Pratt will be voicing Mario.
Okay.
Anna Taylor-Joy will voice Princess Peach. Charlie Day voice Luigi. Jack Black will be playing Bowser. Didn't say voice, it says playing Bowser. Keegan-Michael Key will voice Toad. Seth Rogen voice Donkey Kong, voice Cranky Kong, voice. Jack Black's the only one that says will be playing Bowser. Apparently Charles Martinet will have a cameo in the film, probably a voice cameo. Let's see. I'm trying to see. The decision to have Illumination helm the upcoming Mario movie makes sense, given it's the same studio behind Despicable Me, The Lorax, Secret Life of Pets. While part of me hopes the upcoming Mario movie will be a cult classic like the 93 version, I think it's about time the plumber got his chance at being a mainstream movie success. Yeah. So I think it's... Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was all computer stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it is on Blu-ray.
What is, the 93 version?
Yeah, 93.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is. DICE Awards were announced. Or the DICE Award nominations were announced. The Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences, Best Games of the Year. So what do we have here? The 25th Annual DICE Award nominees, Outstanding Achievement in Animation. Call of Duty Vanguard did not play it. Deathloop did not play it. Kena, Bridge of Spirits. That's going to be the one that I'll probably... it's a good one. I don't know. Look, Kena comes from 3 or 4 Pixar people who know a thing or two about animation.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably favored, but Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is probably going to give them a run for their money, and then Resident Evil Village. Outstanding achievement in art direction is almost, and actually is, the exact same nominations as the one I just mentioned. It is the same games. Outstanding achievement in character. Almost the exact same nominations. Deathloop, Kena, Ratchet and Clank, Resident Evil Village. The only other one in there is the Alex Chen from Life is Strange: True Colors. Music composition. Deathloop. Deathloop is massively pulling in some nominations here. Deathloop, It Takes Two, Kena, Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, and Returnal. Outstanding achievement in audio design, Ratchet and Clank, Returnal, It Takes Two, Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5. Story.
Deathloop didn't make that list?
Deathloop did not make that in audio design. No. It did not.
Okay.
Outstanding achievement in story is Before Your Eyes. That was the one that I talked about last week, where it watches you so that when you blink, it jumps ahead in the life of whoever that is. Inscription, which is another one I want to play. That's that sort of card game horror thing that I'd like to play. Psychonauts 2, which I think I'll get around to playing. It's on Game Pass. I did not play the first one. My friend Ben played it while he was staying with me, living with me, whatever. He was playing it on the OG Xbox, or was it the 360? Was that the original Xbox or 360 for Psychonauts?
Let's see.
I think it was the 360. Regardless, I watched him play through that, but did not actually play it myself. The Forgotten City is another nomination there, and so is Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't necessarily know if it's a favorite, but it is my favorite in that group. I think Psychonauts or Before Your Eyes might give it a run for the money.
Xbox. Psychonauts.
Original?
Yeah, it says Windows, Xbox, PS2, Mac OS.
Yeah,
Linux.
buddy,
Yeah.
that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I've heard fantastic things about Psychonauts 2. I've really, really heard a lot of good things about it. Outstanding technical achievements. Returnal, Battlefield, Forza Horizon 5, Mooncage, Ratchet & Clank. Action Game of the Year. Deathloop, Halo Infinite, Metroid Dread, Returnal, and The Ascent. Adventure Game of the Year. Death's Door, It Takes Two, Psychonauts 2, Resident Evil Village, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Family Game of the Year. This is interesting. An expansion got nominated for this.
Okay.
The expansion for Animal Crossing New Horizons, the Happy Home Paradise DLC, that got nominated for Family Game of the Year. Cozy Grove, which we have played, got nominated for Family Game of the Year. WarioWare, Get It Together, Ratchet and Clank, and Mario Party Superstars, all nominated there. Fighting Game of the Year. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Have you played it?
No. It's a Smash Brothers clone that doesn't do Smash Brothers as well as Smash Brothers. So
Melty Blood Type Lumina. Played it?
I want to. Kind of a cult following. It's an anime. It's an anime.
Is it?
It's an anime fighter. So it's going to.
I think we asked you about that before. Just because it's called Melty Blood, it's like I don't know.
Is vampires involved?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. There's vampires involved.
Like Bernie Wood. I don't know. And Guilty Gear Strive. Only 3 nominations on this one.
Yeah.
Out of those, what do you think? Guilty Gear Strive, Melty Blood, or Nickelodeon?
Guilty Gear Strive, because it's the bigger title with a bigger history.
All right.
So yeah.
Racing Game of the Year, Hot Wheels Unleashed, which I own and haven't played. Forza Horizon 5 and F1 2021. I would give it to Forza Horizon 5 at the moment, and that probably will take the win on this. But it's nice to see Hot Wheels get nominated. I need to get into that. And maybe that's probably what I'm going to fire up next, just because it's been here since November. But see, the thing about that is she's rolling her eyes. Well, you saw in the camera. She's rolling her eyes at me. The point of that being, it's a little bit like Pedestrian. Right. Whereas the controls it's not anything that I've got to relearn to come back to. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's also, there's no story involved that I know of. And so it's just like, if I want
You
to
get to
kill...
play with your Hot Wheels.
Yeah, I get to play with my Hot
I
Wheels,
know.
exactly.
Okay, just say it. Yeah, you get to play with your cars.
Because they got all the different cars for
I
Hot Wheels.
know.
There's a DeLorean. There's a Batmobile.
Okay.
Does it play like Revolt?
I don't know. I haven't played Revolt in a long time.
But you remember it.
I remember it, but it's been a long time. I don't know if it does because I haven't played the game.
Yeah.
The disc is in the machine. It installed on my Xbox, and instead I went to Hellblade and started playing that. So, yeah.
I mean, there was a time when talking about it was like everyone was like looking for the next like Revolt because that was a lot of fun playing that. It was like a better version of RC Pro-Am. Whole bunches of weapons and the environment you got to run around in and things of that nature. And it was like
I tell you the one I
good.
liked that kind of flew under the radar, although there was a bunch of us who were playing it at the time, and that was Blur. Mm-hmm. That was like real car Mario Kart. Mm-hmm. It was really nice. The power-ups, the weapons and things that you'd pick up, that was good. Blur was nice.
Was it you who told me about Split Second?
Oh, it probably was.
Yeah.
Because that was like, well, what if Michael Bay made a car chase game?
Yeah.
It would probably be like this, even though I used to think it would be like Burnout. Nope, not when Split Second happened. I was like, this is Michael Bay Racer, you know?
Yeah.
Michael Bay Kart Racer is what this is, Split Second is. It's great. Sports Game of the Year. Who cares? Role-playing Game of the Year. Wildermyth, Tales of Arise, Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Did you say it right?
Shin
Almost.
Shin Megami Tensei.
No.
What? Shin Megami Tensei?
Spell it.
Which word? The middle one?
Shin.
Shin.
Okay, what's the second one?
Megami, Megami.
Close enough, okay.
Tensei, Tensei.
Good.
And
Go
then
on.
V,
B. Okay.
which I'm guessing is let's have the Asian words and then throw a Roman numeral at the end of it.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, and a symbol.
Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah.
There you go.
Shin Megami Tensei.
And see, when I see it, every time I see it, I go around the house like the rest of the
Yeah,
day.
she does.
Shin Megami Tensei.
Final Fantasy XIV, Endwalker, and Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous for a role-playing game. Look, Sports Game of the Year, there is NBA 2K22, EA Sports FIFA 22, Mario Golf Super Rush, Riders Republic, and The Climb 2. The Climb 2, that's a quest game. Interesting. Yeah, that's a quest game, Oculus Quest. It's a VR game. It's the sequel, by the way, The Climb 2.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. What?
The climb to, okay, I'm thinking mountain climbing. The first thing this thing shows me is a building. So it's like Mirror's Edge VR.
It can be Mirror's Edge. They have mountains you can climb. They have buildings you can climb. They have rock walls you can
I
climb.
need to try that.
Yeah.
Here's the reviews that really pointed out, and I think we watched some reviews because we were thinking about it. It was the fact that, and I've heard a couple of people on some forums being like, "Oh man, Climb looks really good," and it's like, yeah, it does. It looks really cool. The problem is that there's difficulty immersing you. I don't know. There's difficulty in making you feel like you're hanging by your arms, as you would in a climb, because there is no resistance.
No.
It's you standing and doing, and
Right.
moving your arms up and down.
And
But there's no weight. You're not pulling yourself up. You're not hanging with all your weight and feel like you're actually climbing
I'm gonna die.
anything. Yeah.
I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna die.
And so that was one of the issues that really made sense to me when somebody explained this, because I was all aboard this looks really cool. I want to climb the side of buildings. And Spider-Man, the game, without the web slinging. But when they made that point of, here's the problem with it, you feel no weight. You feel no... There's nothing. There's no feeling there that you're hanging.
Yeah, there's nothing to test your grip. There, it gives you an indicator of how much grip you got left. I mean, the best you could probably do is like vibrate the controls more intensely.
I mean, they
to
might do
indicate something
that.
like that. I mean, but that's the best I could think of that they can do.
But so in any other game, when they put me on a cliffside I can look over that cliff and see that, wow, I'm really high up.
Yeah.
And I can get the sense that if I step forward, I'll fall. Even if I step forward, I'm not going to fall because, not there. But there is that immersion that gives you that sense. In the climb, you don't have that because you don't have this feeling that you could fall because you are not, there's no weight. There's nothing. Your arms are not being pulled. There is nothing like that. In any of the other games.
Looking at the video, the arms aren't even there. You got just disconjointed hands. They're just
yeah,
hanging there.
they are. I know.
So there's nothing in there that gives you that sense of reality, really.
What else was there? Strategy Simulation Game of the Year, Age of Empires 4, Gloomhaven, Griftlands, Inscription, Loop Hero, Immersive Reality Technical Achievement. Lone Echo 2. I haven't played that. Puzzling Places, I have played that. That's a nice one. Puzzling Places is something I picked up on the Quest store. And it's basically 3D photos that are broken up into puzzle pieces. And so you have to grab them and build them. And basically, whether it be a beach or a cathedral that you're putting together piece by piece that are of these 3D photo type things that you can look around and that sort of thing. It's really, really cool. Resident Evil 4 VR, Song in the Smoke, and Yuki were the other ones. Immersive Reality Game of the Year, Demio, I Expect You to Die 2, Lone Echo 2, Resident Evil 4 VR, and Song in the Smoke. These are things that I need to remember because, in fact, I'm going to take a picture of them right now so that I can look those up later in the store because those are some games. I Expect You to Die 2 I have, and Puzzling Places I have, but I don't have the others. Outstanding Achievement for an Independent Game, Death's Door, Inscription, Loop Hero, Sable, and Unpacking. Mobile Game of the Year, I don't recognize anything there. Online Game of the Year, Back 4 Blood, Call of Duty, Final Fantasy 14, Halo Infinite, and Knockout City. Game Design, Deathloop, Inscription, It Takes Two, Loop Hero, Ratchet & Clank. Game Direction, Deathloop, Inscription, It Takes Two, Ratchet & Clank. Just going to say the same things over again. Game of the Year. Returnal is nominated. Ratchet & Clank is nominated. It Takes Two is nominated for Game of the Year. That is now on Game Pass as well. It's a game you can play as well. We can play together. I think it's split screen, and you do what I haven't played any of those games from that developer. Mm-hmm. That's all he ever makes is co-op type games. There's Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Mm-hmm. He did A Way Out with the prison escape game. And then It Takes Two. Inscription is another nominee for Game of the Year, and Deathloop also nominated for Game. Deathloop is just rolling in the nominations, man. Deathloop is big. So
probably take two of them, at least.
I would say, yeah, it has to. Stalker 2 got delayed to December. What else did we have? Oh, yeah, the most downloaded games from the PlayStation Store in 2021. Let's see how quickly I can do this. Oh, pretty quickly, apparently. Where do you want to start? You want to do top 10? You want to do top 5? What do you want to do?
Let's go top 10.
Top 10, Far Cry 6 at number 10. Resident Evil Village at number 9. MLB The Show was number 8, yeah. Now, these are downloaded from the store, so these are not necessarily, sales as far as physical sales or anything like that. This is what has been downloaded from the store. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Battlefield 2042, Madden NFL 22, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Call of Duty Vanguard, and the number one downloaded game from the PlayStation Store in 2021 was NBA 2K22. Mm-hmm. So, there you have it. All right, when we come back, we'll hit up some more news here. We'll talk about that God of War PC release because that has done very well. In fact, Wendy and I watched a little video on it last night while we were looking up the Hellblade videos for the sequel. And the Digital Foundry did a thing where they were going over, like, here's how it runs on Windows as compared to PS5. Mm-hmm. And that was amazing. It looked unreal. So, anyway, we'll be talking about that coming up. Tattoos. Peter Rothschild in the chat room said, tattoos with piercings and colored hair is a highway to hell in my book. That's fantastic. AC/DC up next. No, this is music from Lacuna is the game, and I'm butchering the pronunciation of that. It's Lacuna. Mm-hmm. I don't know anything about the game. It has nothing to do with coils of any type. Anybody catch that? No? Okay. Lacuna coil.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You're on a highway to hell. So
Yeah. I know. Nothing new there.
Piercings and colored hair. We'll be back. Here is the main theme from Lacuna on In-Game Chat. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. This is from the Amiga. And there's a sequel to the game that is out now, and I couldn't find music for that, so I had to go back and get the music from this one. Mm-hmm. This is Beneath a Steel Sky from the Amiga. Because now there's a game called Beyond a Steel Sky. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't find music for it, but that's what that is. I thought you might know it. I knew you know a lot of the older type game type stuff, so not sure if you were. Do you ever have an Amiga or no? Okay,
heard of it, never had one though.
Yeah, same here. Never had one. So anyway, welcome back to In-Game Chat. I was just looking up because I wanted to go over the March video game releases, but then I was like, well, what's coming out in February, man? So February schedule. Let's see. That's January. Here's February. Life is Strange Remastered, The Waylanders, whatever that is. Dying Light 2, the sequel there. That comes out February the 4th. Sifu, when I'm not sure. S-I-F-U. Mm-hmm. That's the one that has really, really nice hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
But every time you die or something, you get older.
When you fail, you get older.
Right.
But,
so that's something.
I'm trying to remember what it was. Like, the older you get, the more of a glass cannon you become, or something like that.
Yeah. Got to be more and more careful with your.
You can dish it out, but can't take it.
Yeah. Let's see. Edge of Eternity. I don't know what that is, but it comes out February 10th. Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. Not really familiar, but it's, they've done 9 of them so far, or 8 of them already. So here's the 9th.
Big melee combat.
It is, yeah.
Romance of the 12 Kingdoms type thing.
Rumbleverse. I've heard about that, but I don't know what that is. Probably a fighter of some sort. King of Fighters 15. We talked about that. Total War, Warhammer 3. Destiny 2, The Witch Queen. Edge of Eternity. Is that what I just talked about? Yeah, I did. So that must be the piece. Oh, that's the Switch release. Monarch on February 22nd. Horizon Forbidden West on February the 18th. Elden Ring on the 25th. Martha is Dead on the 24th. I don't know what that is. And Grid Legends on the 25th. Moving into March, we have a game called Far Changing Tides. I want to say I saw this in a PlayStation thing or something like that. It looked really, really cool. You build ships, but these are like airships or something. I don't know. Gran Turismo 7 is early March. Tunic is also like mid-March. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, that is also in March. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, March there as well. And something called Weird West, that is also in March. April has like nothing.
Yeah. Roboverse looks like to be just a big open world melee fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's what you've got to look forward to next month and also in March as well. God of War released on PC. Did you play God of War on Okay.
No. So, just another one of those titles that I've got but haven't got around to playing yet. So,
great game. Let me see. I thought I had... Okay, these are just some things saying that if you're already on it, if this was Game Explained saying if you already own it on PS4 or PS5, it's probably not worth shelling out that extra cash to buy it at full price, maybe on a sale. That said, if you haven't played God of War and don't own it on either of those systems, it's definitely worth owning on PC, even if you don't have the latest or greatest specs.
The whole statement. Even without the latest, greatest specs.
That's
on
what
your
he
PC.
says. Yeah.
Jeez.
I heard it was very well optimized.
Okay.
But the videos that I was watching, of course, with Digital Foundry, this thing was running on, 3090 or whatever it is, 3080 Ti, I guess. I'm not sure. One of those massive cards you just can't get.
Yeah.
And they had 4K as well as native and all these other different methods. And the thing was just gorgeous.
Yeah.
It looked better than what I remember playing it on with the PS4 Pro is what I played it on. Mm-hmm. It showed what the PS5 with the backwards compatibility looked like. Not bad, but the things they were pointing out made me think, if this was the first time, I'd much rather play it on PC.
Mm-hmm.
It looked really, really good. And it is getting a lot of great marks. Ars Technica says, when comparing the maxed out PC version to the PS4 Pro code running on PS5, the differences can range from subtle to striking. The biggest differences come from a large boost to shadow resolution and quality, whether in the form of higher res shadow maps, more objects casting shadows, or ambient occlusion across more surfaces. Dust clouds, shattering structures, magical effects, those sort of things also benefit from higher settings on PC. So, yeah. I'm looking forward to the sequel, Horizon Forbidden West. I'm looking forward to that sequel, even though I didn't finish the first game.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't know if I want to go back and finish the first game.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not very far into it. The last place I left off with was during I don't know if it's a boss fight. I can't remember what those are called, but it was in the middle of a fight that you can't get out of. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember my controls or anything. It would be worth it to me to go back and at least maybe start it, but
at this point, probably at this point it'd be better to start over from scratch from the beginning.
Oh yeah, of course it would. I just don't know if I want to do that.
So, Horizons is a story-based game.
It's story-based.
It's story-based,
but it's story-based, but it's in an open world.
Still pretty much story though. The story is what's pushing it.
It is, but it's not linear. So, point being is that this could take me a lot longer to finish if I go back than it would for something like playing Hellblade before Hellblade 2, or Guardians before the Guardians, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
This is like saying, well, I need to finish Assassin's Creed Black Flag before I move on to the next Assassin's Creed or something like that, a big, massive open world game before I move into the next one. And so I just don't know if I want to go through it. It isn't necessarily that the story didn't hold me. I don't think I got far enough for it to really hold, but I really got tired of sneaking around in the bushes and trying to take out these machines and doing their little stealth stuff that I was doing. And I don't know. I just don't know if I'm up for that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure. What else do we have? Just for nothing, the amount of money spent on mobile games in 2021 was $116 billion.
With a B.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't know what constitutes a mobile game. In other words,
yeah.
Is it all?
Is it just smartphones?
Is it
just
yeah.
Android? Is it Switch? Is it?
I doubt it's Switch. That's going to be. These are going to be probably things.
Stuff on a tablet.
I figure it's going to be tablet, phone type things. You know.
Android. Android or iPhone equipment.
But is
maybe that's what it's limited to?
Is the Quest considered mobile? It runs on Android tech.
Might be.
And it also doesn't. I can take it anywhere. I can take it anywhere and play it.
That's right. I'm more along the thought that if it's like if it's on iOS or Android, I'm thinking that's what they would call Android. I mean, they would call mobile gaming if it's if it's running on those platforms.
That's what I would think as well. 116 billion on that. That's ridiculous.
I'm in the wrong market.
I mean, I feel like I'm in the right market because I don't ever want to be contributing to. I don't know why I am so against mobile games, which is weird. Sit there and play. What was that little brick breaker game? Well, the thing is, I'm okay playing mobile games, but I don't pay for them. Mm-hmm. I get the free ones, and if they say, "Well, 24 hours till you can do this again," or you can pay this to speed that up, and I'm like, I can wait. I got time. I
I guess it's a combination of what you're used to and an unwillingness to pay money for those things. That's what they're really all about anyway. They got ways in there to get cash out of you.
They probably can't give you a breakdown because I think it's skewed. But I would love to know the age range of who spent the $116 billion. Mm-hmm. Was it the Fortnite kids or was it the? But see, that's the thing. A lot of parents will just be like, "Here's the phone. I got to go talk. Here, go play your game on my phone."
Okay.
Or on my what?
And then
Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
You know, you pay like one fee and you can play all of these games.
True.
How do you
differentiate between that? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, get a kid a phone, and $1,500 later on your credit card, and you don't know where it came from.
Well, you made me open the article, so let me look. The mobile gaming market broke a number of records in 2021. App spending, playtime, and more spent on mobile. While total App Store expenditure was $170 billion, which was an increase of 19%. Roblox hit number one for consumer spending. Is it Genshin or Genshin Impact? Genshin Impact was second. As for monthly active users, PUBG Mobile took first place, Roblox second, Candy Crush, Free Fire, and Among Us followed.
Candy Crush is still running strong.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Goodness.
Additionally, more time than ever before was spent on mobile apps, reaching 4.8 hours per user per day in the top mobile-first markets. This report also indicates that mobile services remain in high demand, with global consumers downloading over 435,000 apps per minute, while mobile app advertisements are on track to hit $350 billion this year, after surpassing $295 billion last year. Whew. Man.
So what is the allure of mobile gaming other than convenience?
I don't know, but now you know why Take-Two bought Zynga for $12.7 billion. Zynga is a very mobile type game, or a mobile company, gaming company type thing. So,
I guess the thing for me, mobile gaming doesn't really appeal to me or whatever because
it's never
control. I guess. Yeah. I mean, tapping the screen or something like that never really got to me like that. Because I remember when they tried to put Street Fighter on a phone like mobile game, and I'm like, no, this is not going to work. I don't have I can't do the intricacies of throwing a quarter circle forward motion on the.
Likely what you would do then is take your take a gamepad that Bluetooth connects to your phone so that you can do the controls. There's
If I'm doing that, I may as well play on the.
I know.
Yeah. Look. I'm used to carrying my Asus monitor and console to various places all around the city to play fighting games with folks. So I'm not doing it on the phone.
I was very tempted back when they did when Xbox did the cloud gaming thing.
Yeah.
I was very tempted to get. It's called a Backbone. I think it's made by Razer.
Yeah.
And basically, it's it's a controller thing like this, and then your phone sits in the middle and plugs in.
Yeah.
And so then that's it. It's like a switch.
Yeah.
As you're playing, and I was like, play Destiny on my phone while I'm away and doing whatever. And but the more I thought about it, I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that, man. You saw something, you're like, hey, that's a great idea. I think I'll get one of those. And it's like, no.
Is this one of those sounds good on paper, but in actuality, it's like not really?
It sounds good when I think about playing remotely, but I rarely ever considered that. Now, that's the thing. Had this been a thing, not last year, but the year before last, the year of the pandemic, 2020.
Right.
When that first kicked off and everything was kind of shut down. I mean, I was still coming into work because there were still things that, you had to do, but work was just not a lot going on.
Yeah.
Not a lot going on at all.
You're going to be...
I brought my Switch, and I would play on the Switch.
Yeah, at the very start, it was pretty obvious that you're going to be bored and isolated for a pretty long time. So dig in and use this to keep yourself distracted.
So, yeah.
Read some books or play some mobile gaming. Take your pick. But I would think that Destiny would suffer from that because the resolution would be, shrunken down on your phone compared to your monitor or your television screen and whatnot. And I would think your performance shooting-wise would go down. Because that was one of the aspects of Destiny that you love so much is how the shooting in the game, right?
I'm curious. I'm all kinds of curious about how it would look and stuff. Now, I did play Pedestrian on their cloud gaming service.
Yeah,
that was at home, hooked up to my network, connected wired to the network there, and even that was kind of giving me some whatever. But playing that on my phone through cloud gaming would actually be perfectly fine if you look at it that way. Would work, but that's not a game that is moving very fast. It's not a game that requires any kind of Twitch input type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Where you've got to be real fast to react to what's happening on screen. Definitely not a fighting game.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What else is there? Well, speaking of the Quest, this was an article we didn't get to last week where the Quest 2 VR headset had a fantastic holiday season. If my referrals are any indication, yes, it did. There was a lot of people who picked up a Quest 2 VR headset over the holidays there. What do we have here? Well, I thought there was going to be some... As noted by the virtual reality experts at Road to VR, during the height of the holiday season, the Quest 2 surpassed the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S and Nintendo Switch in terms of relative Google search volume. How many searches were done for those? The VR headset's Google Peak was brief and mainly focused around the Christmas weekend, suggesting new users looking for tips on getting set up or gift card recipients looking for something to buy. The point is, it's the first time ever the VR headset exceeded the search volume of traditional gaming consoles since it launched. The developers of some of virtual reality's best games also noticed a spike in game sales over the holiday season. Makers of the excellent Falcon Age noted the spike in sales of the 2-year-old bird adventure on Twitter. Falcon Age spike on Quest for Christmas. No sales or anything, but new devices being activated. And it shows this big spike right around the holiday season, right around Christmas. He says, like I said, there's no special sales, nothing like that. It's just from owners looking for games to play on their devices. Let's see. Another example is Superhot VR, the VR version of the amazing time-bending action game, originally released in late 2016 as an Oculus Rift exclusive. The game's revenue has continued to grow year over year, according to data from games sales tracking site. Projected revenue for the game is up 42% over last year, mostly accounted for by the Quest version. So, yeah.
Yeah, amazing how a game picks up after that exclusivity runs out, ain't it?
Yeah. No, there was a lot of people. I think there was another one, because I follow a thread online as well about the Quest, and there were other reports of other developers saying, wow, look at these numbers, just these spikes for their games and stuff. Oh, man, Nabokov is writing a ton. Let's see. The differences, mobile games. Oh, yeah, he was talking about mobile games. The only mobile games I've enjoyed don't require physical controls, something like a Racing Manager or Evoland, XCOM, that sort of thing. Most devs do not design, and Google does not emphasize design mechanics around low heat. The goal is to push polygons, and that's counter to what we actually should be pushing on that platform. Nabokov asked, is that because everything else was not in stock? Likely.
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
I would easily assume that. I mean, we told you GameStop, the store, back then was taking in the old-gen systems, the PS4 Pro, the PS4, and the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S. Yeah. They were taking those in at a massive value than what you would normally get probably selling those, whether it be trading credit. In fact, at one point they said, okay, just give them cash for it, because they needed to restock their consoles because they didn't have PS5s or Series X's. Mm-hmm. So when people would come in, they say, well, we don't have those, but we got some used PS4 Pros and some used and, let people walk away with those.
When he mentions that, I think about, you said it was the Google searches for the thing, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, the only reason you're looking for PS5 online would be availability. Yeah. You're not looking for the games because, well, the library is pretty bare right now. I mean, anything on a PS4, you can play it on the download for the PS5 or whatever. There's not a lot of games to speak of. But Quest doesn't have that situation. They're available. There's plenty of games to look at. So
Sony was originally planning to stop making the PlayStation 4. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think last year, after the end of 2021, they were just going to stop making it because of the shortages with PS5. They have decided not to do that, and they're going to continue to make PS4s this year. Another 1 million will be available in 2022. PS4s, by the way, not PS5s,
not PS4 Pro.
Just the PS4 Pro family or PS4 family. So pros and regular, that sort of thing that they're working on. Something else I wanted to get to because I almost forgot about it. Nabokov posted a question in Discord last week or something like that. Let's see. I'm playing mobile games. I see things like patents for methods to design games to accelerate investment and other verbiage to make players spend on the game. What used to be a $5 industry is now a six-figure spending per player industry in some cases. I literally cannot comprehend how some of these game design mechanics are legally allowed. We do use some legal questions, like when EA was bought, to answer the question in the UK. If you have a developer who is manipulating drop rates based on spending, do you feel like this is okay as a player? No, I'm not. I don't. I don't necessarily have a long, drawn-out explanation, but I don't have to think about it. As a player, no, I don't think it's okay.
No. But you see it happening.
And I don't even. It's everywhere. That's not just in mobile gaming, though.
What did FIFA and EA go through with the ultimate teams on their sport games?
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers, the odds of you getting the high-tier players and these things are slim and none.
And Spigot Brock says, same with the season passes that you see in things like Words with Friends that keep taunting players with premium stuff to unlock compared to the paltry stuff non-payers get. I have a rule with games like this that if I start to spend actual money on them, I delete them. I used to be huge into Clash Royale until they added stuff like this, and I got suckered into paying for it for a month or two, but then found that it was even harder to win, which made you want to spend more. So I deleted it, and what used to be a daily quick game to do some goals is now gone. That is spread to many other games in this space. It's one thing when mobile game that is ostensibly free does it. It's infuriating when a game that you pay actual money for on a console or PC turns out and does it. So.
Yeah. The reason it succeeds is because it worked. I remember a while back we talked about it when Street Fighter V came out.
Yeah.
That game was incomplete on release. And characters were going to be coming in, but you had to buy that season pass over and over and over again. I think it was like 5 season passes in total you picked up for that game before you got the completed version. And I said, Street Fighter is probably the only fighting franchise where this would work in, because of the popularity that game has, that people would allow to happen. Because the initial plan that when it came out like that, folks were not happy with that. Folks weren't happy at all. But if any franchise could get away with it, it would probably be Street Fighter. And now in the years since then, a lot of other franchises are doing the exact same thing. And because of the success that Street Fighter V has had, it's spread to other fighting games, and the same pattern happens over and over again. There's season passes for all these fighting games now.
Well, that is going to wrap it up for us. We only have a few more seconds left before the end of the show here. Thanks, everybody, for joining us in the chat room, and thank you all for joining us on Discord and listening on the show as everybody else does. Subscribe to us. That's all I really got time to tell you. And this is the music from a game called The Sound of One Hand Clapping. We'll see you next week.